Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you are having an amazing day so far. I was going to call it a day. I've already filmed 2 videos for today and this one popped up on my recommended page and I thought I've got to check it out because it's a bit of a conversation starter. It's called The USA vs Canada, Similarities and Differences. Now before we even get into the video, I want you to stick them down in the comments. What similarities and differences can you think of off the top of your head? I get confused a lot of the times, and there's been a few times when I say, so are you from America? No, I'm from Canada, and vice versa. And then I've also noticed on the TV and stuff, Americans tend to not tease, but they'll rag a bit of the Canadian, yeah, bud, sort of thing, just to take the mickey in a gentle way, of course. But yeah, that's the only differences I can tell. Obviously, I know it's 2 different countries, I know that. But yeah, that's the differences I've seen. It's only a short video. It's only 4 minutes and 4 seconds long, and I can get a lot done in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Ask my missus. Just joking. I'm sorry. Terrible joke. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well hit the like button as well. And without further ado, let's get into USA vs Canada, similarities and differences.
The USA and Canada are 2 of the most similar countries in the world, and they've always remained close friends, but they might be a little more different than you'd expect. In this video, I'm going to compare and contrast the USA versus Canada. Quick disclaimer guys, I am American and I spent the first 21 years of my life in the US before I started traveling abroad.
I've seen some of this guy's video. He goes all over the place, doesn't he? He's like a world traveler. Fair play to him. What an awesome job / life that is, just to see the world. I would have loved to have done that. I didn't really think of things like that before I had children. Now that I've got kids, I think sometimes, before I had kids, I should have traveled more. Because now with them in school and that, it's really difficult, especially here. We can't really get permission to take them out of school unless it's like a major family emergency, unless there's a lockdown on and they can be out of school for nearly 2 years. Then nobody asks any questions, but hey, I digress.
I've also been to Canada 5 times and I really love it there. I am making this video from an unbiased point of view and I'm trying to make it as educational as possible. So with that being said, let's jump right in with the similarities. Both the USA and Canada are in North America and are predominantly English speaking. Both countries are huge in size.
Yeah,
Canada is the world's 2nd largest and the US is the 3rd. With enormous size comes lots of national parks and stunning natural beauty. In terms of the overall life on the streets and standard of living, they are pretty much the exact same. The strip malls, the fast food joints, the retail shops, there's almost no way to tell the difference unless you see one of these. Both the US and Canada have a tipping culture in restaurants where 15 to 20% is expected, so not surprisingly, you will find excellent customer service. And lastly, both nations are obsessed with sports, both are very patriotic, and the religion is predominantly Christian.
Going on that customer service thing, it goes a huge way, doesn't it? Now, I've had some bad experiences here, not really bad experiences here in Slovakia, but people tend to be quite standoffish. And yesterday, tiny little thing, we went into a hardware store type thing to get a blanking plug for a water pump that we've got, that we pump water from one water tank to the other or from the front well to the back garden, and they didn't have any in stock. And instead of the guy just being a knobhead about it and being like, no, we don't have any in stock, he took one off of a brand new pump and said, don't worry, I'll just order a new one. And he gave it to us and he was really friendly, and that tiny little bit difference made the world a difference to me. That tiny little bit of help made the world a difference to me. It was so nice of him. He really didn't have to do that. And I mean, he probably get, not told off, but I mean, he took it off a brand new pump. They can't sell that now until the replacement part comes in. So just that tiny bit of difference, it makes a huge difference.
Sports,
that's what I'm
both are very patriotic, and the religion is predominantly Christian. Okay, that wraps up the key similarities. Now we can move onwards to the fun part, the differences. Despite being smaller in size, the US has a much bigger population, the 3rd highest in the world with 329 million residents. On the other hand, Canada is the world's 39th most populous nation with 37 million people, roughly the same size as California. Canada is freezing, and during the winter time, it pretty much snows everywhere.
Yep, it's a no
the
for
US
me.
does have some cold states, but many are set in warmer climates, like right now where I am in Arizona. About 20% of Canadians are native French speakers, while 15% of Americans are native Spanish speakers. Canadians are nicer people overall, and it's not only my opinion. Just about every friendliest country ranking I found online has Canada listed in the top 10. Canadians also have slightly different accents and different lingo than Americans. They also spell
Yeah.
certain words differently than us, like color, O-U-R, and center, R-E.
That's like the British spell color. That's why I get so confused. Like sometimes I put color in like that, and then I'm getting spell checked. No, that's wrong. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But yeah.
In the world of sports, both countries like football, basketball, baseball, golf, soccer, and lacrosse, but in Canada, nothing is bigger than hockey. They are the proud inventors of the sport and is followed in every corner of the country. When it comes to food, Canada wins on poutine, bacon, and maple syrup, while the US wins in pizza, barbecue, burgers, and apple pie.
Barbecue.
Okay, maybe that one is slightly opinionated, but it's honestly the truth. While both currencies are called the dollar, they're actually quite different, and only here in the States you can find these are called the...
I didn't know the Canadian money had the Queen on it. Yes, I know it's an ex-colony or whatever it is, but I thought that really does my head in that.
dollar, they're actually quite different, and only here in the States you can find useless pennies. Does anybody use pennies anymore these days? In terms of political systems, the US and Canada both have democracies, but they function differently. The USA is led by a president, and we have two major parties, Democratic and Republican. In Canada, they are led by a prime minister, and they have four major parties and several smaller ones.
Saying nothing.
Lastly, another big difference is that Canadians get free healthcare for everyone, and going to university is a lot cheaper than here in the US. That is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making it. To be honest, as you can probably tell, I love both the US and Canada so much, and I hope you guys found some of the information in this video useful.
There were only a couple in there that I wasn't too sure about. I'm a bit like, I didn't know that the money still had the royal family on it, I'm not going into politics. It just bugs me, that sort of thing, you know. I should shut up. Yeah, the weather in Canada. We were thinking years ago, many years ago, I think it was just after my daughter was born, friends of ours moved to Canada and they were trying to convince us to go over. And yeah, the weather put me off big time. So guess what? I chose to move to Slovakia, which is freaking freezing in the winter as well. Oh, it's horrible. I'm already dreading winter, guys. But yeah, there was a few differences and similarities in there that I wasn't too sure about. But nothing too surprising, really. The population really surprised me. That actually really surprised me. I didn't realize Canada's population was 39 million and the US is like 300 and something million. That's crazy difference considering Canada's bigger than it's crazy. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's get to 10K. I'm really wanting to get to 10K. I don't know. It's like become an obsession. Anyway, have an amazing day and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.